Moving your business online. I'm Elizabeth Viljoen of Cerebrate New Zealand, a business that creates deep thinking events and webinars. Our current webinar series focuses on moving your business online. In the introductory webinars, we had 3 panel members that discussed 2 important aspects of moving your business online, all experts in their field. Aileen Ledger, a holistic life and communications coach. Frank Tsuro, CEO of Frankly Speaking, chairman of the board for the eHub and a leadership coach. And Mariana van der Walt, managing director of the New Zealand Institute for Rural Entrepreneurship. We looked at the why and the how. Why do you need to move your business online? Rather than focusing your attention on the negative impact of a worldwide epidemic like COVID-19, Mariana explained to us that the whole world had a crash course in remote work. We realized that remote work is the future of work. But where do you start? The second step was to look at creating a digital strategy for your online business, because no one will know about your business unless they see you promote it. In this third webinar, Mariana van der Walt, who for years pushed for the move towards decentralizing work and promoting the idea of living your dream, will look at 3 common approaches to establish an online business. Mariana has been the director of the Center for Research and Applied Innovation at Wintec, which focuses on transdisciplinary educational programs to develop entrepreneurs, change leaders, and practical innovators. Then she initiated and co-founded Impact Hub Waikato, which received seed funding by Trust Waikato. Currently, Mariana is the managing director of the New Zealand Institute for Rural Entrepreneurship, and she designed a suite of courses using the Remotania to encourage remote work. So Mariana, why the focus on rural entrepreneurship?
As part of that directorship that you mentioned, I went to the top countries in the Global Innovation Index, the top 5 countries every year, basically wanting to know how innovation works in countries where it works really well, and then secondary, because I was in a tertiary institution at the time, and what is the role of education in achieving that. It was like a blank sheet. I just went to learn. I had no preconceived ideas or anything. I understood how innovation works and innovation management works, but I wanted to learn from them. And over a period of 5 years, I was really surprised to learn that the way they go about innovation and entrepreneurship would be very suited for innovation and entrepreneurship in small towns. They've moved everything into a group effort rather than an individual endeavor. And that is why I'm using that approach, that group-based approach and collaborative innovation and entrepreneurship. And that is very suitable for change and for development in small towns, because by nature, they work more together in groups. They are also more inclined to do social enterprise and to integrate volunteerism and commercial endeavors to get stuff done, just because there's a constraint on resources, so they pull from all the various resources. So it's very suitable for small towns, and that's why. And of course, I grew up in a small town. I live in New Zealand, and I absolutely love rural New Zealand. So there's that aspect as well. But those are the dynamics that made me do that.
So what is the aim with the Remotania suite of courses? You say that you want to encourage people to live their dream.
That's another thing that's really interesting. I have been following remote work and the development of remote work from the early 2000s. And as I did over the years, it became ever more exciting. Where we are right now is that both the knowledge economy and the platforms and the technology that enables remote work and online business come together to actually, for the first time, make it possible for ordinary people to not build their life around their work, but to actually decide what life they want to live and then use their work life to achieve that. That was usually only possible for the privileged few. But the combination of remote work, which broke the barriers in terms of work and business, and then the development of the knowledge economy came together to make this possible for us ordinary people. And it's frightening for us to think like that. We are so used to think constraint based. And I'm pushing for us to move beyond that. And of course, then COVID-19 happened and everybody had a crash course in working remotely, and the technologies underpinning remote work. So suddenly, just like we all used to be able to use a phone, we now all used to be able to use the video conferencing. So the technology is becoming embedded in the general population as well. Honestly, it's the time to rethink your life completely and focus and make the anchor of what you arrange your life around the life you want to live, rather than the job that you have or the business that you want to start. So it's a development that makes it possible to rethink how we live and then use work to achieve that, rather than the other way around like it used to be.
This specific webinar is an introduction to various approaches to online business, which we'll explore during the series. So there are 3 common approaches to online business. Mariana, please elaborate.
The 3 common approaches to online business, if you want to establish an online business, and I need to stress from the outset, all of these can be integrated with a physical business. So they can be either completely online, or they can just be the online part of a business that's broader than online. It doesn't really matter which of them you do. So there are those 3. And then the other thing, there are also 2 layers. The first is you can work on your own to do these businesses. In other words, you can do it on your own, or you can be part of a group and build any one or any combination of these 3 as part of a group. So I'm going to just talk about what they are for the moment, rather than to delve into how do you combine them, or do you do them on your own, or do you do them as part of a platform. The easiest one, of course, is if you develop your own product or you have your own services that you then just want to make available online. Of course, it matters whether you need to send stuff. If it's a physical product that you need to send off, then you have the added logistics where you need to send, and when people buy something, you need to send it to them. If it is a service that you provide online, you need to have the technologies around it to be able to provide that service to people remotely. But it's still primarily is you develop the product, you develop the service, and then you offer it to potential customers. It provides you with all the flexibility that you want, and you can basically do any product or any service that fit what you want to achieve, or what your skill sets are, or whatever. The downside of that is that it's hard. If you just throw a piece of product into thin air of the whole world, it's hard for protective customers to actually pick it out of the haystack. So you need to make sure that you are marketing and your promotion is such that your prospective customers will find it. So it's hard to do that, from the sense that marketing and promotion needs to be very sophisticated to actually make it visible to the people who will buy that. So if you do that, you have the flexibility of whatever product you want, whatever service you want, but the major challenge is, how do you market that, and how do you become known? How does your product and your services become known? Related to that is if you build a business around your personal brand. And I'm talking here about things like online influencers, if you become a public speaker on something, or if you provide a consultation service or a coaching service that is around your personal brand that you are developing. Of course, it's a type of business as well, and you can do that once again as an individual or as a group. For now, I'm just talking about the notion of branding yourself around something, and then people are attracted to the brand of who you are, and therefore they make use of your whatever it is you offer, whether it's a product or a service or whatever it is. But you build, the promotion is not about the product, the promotion is about your brand. It's very focused on you as a person, and your online profile that you develop over time is really, really important, like on platforms like LinkedIn or whatever else. And your interaction with others in the field is very important, because people are attracted to that particular brand rather than a specific product. The third way in which you can do an online business is through affiliate selling, or some call it partner selling or referral selling. What you there do, and it's actually a whole way in which you can make money online, is you don't sell your own products or services. You don't care about your own personal brand. You on-sell other people's or other companies' products and services, and you get a commission. And people actually make a living out of that. This is one of the very important ways, if you mix personal brand and affiliate selling, how people do blogs profitably, where they blog about a certain subject, let's say travel, for instance, because it's an easy one. But all the links in the blog are actually affiliate links, which means should anybody click through that link and look at the product that you're promoting, say it's a trip to Europe or whatever the product is, and they sign up, then you get a commission. So the blog becomes profitable by, it looks like it's just information, but actually you're promoting products and services, and should people buy as a result of that, you get a commission. Now you can mix these things. You don't have to do one of them or just two of them. You can mix them. A personal brand can be linked to an affiliate. A personal brand can be linked to your own products and services, or affiliate can stand completely on its own, and all you're interested in is to make money online, and you're blogging, or you're just basically doing Facebook ads or YouTube ads or whatever types of ads where you promote a specific product, and if it sells, you get a commission. But it's one or more of these that you pull together to create an online business. That's basically, and you need to decide which ones and how you're going to combine them, because each of them has got pros and cons. Now the pros you want to amplify, but the cons you need to have strategies to overcome. So you need to understand the nature of your business from these three perspectives, so that you can promote and amplify the right pros and develop strategies to overcome the right, or the pain points, the cons, the things that are going to make you fail. So that's the three broad categories that you can engage with if you want to start a business online. Starting a business online is only one possible way in which you can do remote work. Of course, there are many others, but that focuses specifically on how to start and what are the approaches that you can use if you want to start an online business or an online part of your existing physical business.
Mariana, now if you want to start a business and you have absolutely no idea how to promote yourself, and you go online, you have a product or a service to promote, how and where can you start to promote that service?
It really does depend on what the product is and what the service is. It also depends on, do you want to promote it yourself or do you want affiliates to promote it for you? And there are various platforms that you can use depending on which way you want to go. I'll give an example by using my own approach. And my own approach is just because that's what I prefer to do right now with what I'm doing currently. I will be extending it later on to others as well. But basically, what I'm doing is I create my own suite of online courses, which you mentioned, the Remitania suite of courses, and I intend to sell them online, but I also intend, as I move around small town New Zealand, to market them physically as I talk to people in the town. So while the course is mostly online and all the interaction is mostly online, I do the marketing both in a physical way and online. So first of all, of course, you have the product that you want to sell, and now you need to find a way to sell it. You need to bring it to people's attention. And my approach at the moment is to offer a free webinar on the subject. basically where people can come and listen about remote work. I do free webinars about remote work. And let's say the webinar is an hour long, then the last 10 minutes of it, I actually promote a specific program that people can then choose to buy. But they actually come to hear more about remote work. So you use the webinar basically to introduce and yourself, your knowledge about the subject, and then at the end, those who choose to stay can then stay on and also hear more about the program. So that's one way. Of course, now the question becomes, so how do people hear about the webinar? Um, and for that, you use ads, you use Facebook ads, you use YouTube ads, or you use, and of course, word of mouth, you can do email list, whatever the normal marketing, social media marketing, or any other marketing where you want to do. So you basically build what is called a funnel, where you have the advertisement, you have the webinar, and then you have the product that people can then buy. And you can have multiple ones of these, but that's just the approach that I'm busy with now. And I need to say, the one thing that I need to say about me being on this journey using ads and then a webinar and then advertising a specific product, I'm not learning on my own. I have bought into being mentored by a company in the UK that specializes in helping people who want to monetize knowledge products like courses, to help them succeed in this way. So for a year, I am on this journey with them where they help me succeed. I really don't believe that it's a wise thing to do in the online world to learn all on your own, because it's so nebulous, it's so fast changing. You can quite easily learn forever and never actually get to a successful thing. So I am a very great fan, a very big fan of being mentored and learning from others who already created success online, purely because for most people, entering the online world is like walking into a very nebulous universe, and it takes time to find your feet, and it's just much easier to walk with others' feet who already found their feet, and you can follow in their footsteps. So of course they can't tell me exactly what I need to do to get my particular customers for my particular products, but they have walked this road multiple times, and they can help me when I get stuck. They can answer my questions. So that's just out there. Is doing the online world on your own is usually a very costly, both in terms of time and money, endeavor. The more support you can get and learn from others who already succeeded, the better. So this group approach is a really good approach. Even like currently I'm on my own, I do this business on my own, but I make very sure that I surround myself with those that can advise me so that I can succeed faster, quicker, and at a lower cost.
Yes, and now when we look at personal brand, I know that we can look at Frank's Frankly Speaking, which is a personal brand about him as a speaker, and Kayleen, who is a holistic life and communication coach. So that's their personal brand, and that's how they work around that, and we'll focus on that later on in this series of webinars. But let's look at affiliate selling. Yesterday, I had an email from a friend in South Africa, and they want to do podcasts. And she asked me, how do I make money from podcasts? What would you suggest?
Well, that's very closely related to the personal brand work. Is you need to, if you want to make money from podcasts, you go one of two ways, one of two main ways. The first is you become a good interviewer for podcasts. In other words, you help others do good podcasts. The second one is you become an expert in a subject that you then make regular podcasts about, and then people subscribe to that particular podcast. And over time, when you as you become an authority in that subject, they will pay you to get access to your information. So you're basically selling on information. But once again, if you go the route of I want to help others do podcasts, in other words, you know the technologies around podcasts, or maybe you can do the interviews, then you can make money by helping others making the podcast. It's their business to sell it and to monetize it. You make your money by helping them getting the particular session that they can then sell on. If your approach is, I want to do regular podcasts and put them online and monetize them, you have a few ways. You need to have subscription where people pay to listen, or you can use them to build community so that people don't pay you, but they give you their name and email address. So you build a community, and then you can combine it with something like affiliate selling in a particular subject, that you then use that particular email list to market for the affiliate products and services that you are marketing. That's another way. The other way is, if you're an authority, people can pay directly to get access. So you need to find ways in which you can combine giving things away for free just to build community and then make money on the other side. For instance, I'll give an example. It's not a podcast. It's just a pure ebook, just a pure PDF ebook that I made. I made this ebook. Actually, I paid an online freelancer to do the research for me online to get the information. Let me tell you the whole story. I paid a freelancer to do the research for me, and I told them exactly what I wanted, and they did a good job of doing the research for me. Then I had the information. So I paid another freelancer to take that information and make it into an ebook. And then I paid yet another freelancer to make the video ad that I want to use to promote the book. So I've used 3 different freelancers to do this. And now what I'm doing is, and I'm doing this myself, I could pay somebody else, but I know about YouTube ads. That's part of what I'm learning from the people in the UK. I'm doing my own YouTube ad. So I run this YouTube ad, which take you to a link describing this PDF, and then for a nominal amount, you can buy the book. Now that's exactly what you can do with a podcast as well. The book is just the product. But you understand what I mean? You make the thing, and then you make the page with the information about the thing, and then you make the advert that will promote that thing, and then you pay to have ads to bring people to the page, and then they go through and they buy that. So that's one way. That's the funnel type way. For the larger things like a course, I use not just an information page, but I just take the information page out and put a webinar there. Because it takes longer. You need to share more. People want to relate to you. People want to know what you know about the subject before they will commit to buy a course from you. So there are multiple ways, and you need to find what will work best for the specific product. For a podcast, it's very likely possible to have a page where you have the series of podcasts, but to listen to an individual podcast, you may need to pay a nominal amount, and you actually pull people from a paid ad through to that particular page. The other way would be to do a blog that you combine with affiliate links, so that you make your money basically from affiliate links, and you build yourself as an authority in that subject by the blogs that you put on. And then people want to listen to you, so then they can subscribe to your podcast also on the blog. So there are multiple ways to go about it, and it's not one or the other. For your particular audience, one approach may work better than another approach, but it's hard to predict upfront which one will work better than the other, because different audiences have got different characteristics, and for that reason, you need to experiment a little bit. Does that help to just say there are these approaches where you can go about things, and you need to know about them? And the good news is, and that's why I really like the notion of remote work, I do not have to know how to make a video ad. I do not have to know how to make an ebook out of information. And quite frankly, I'm a researcher. Research is kind of my career, but I didn't have the time to do the research myself. So I also contracted somebody to do that. So in a way, I created a whole product making use of remote workers. And now I am building the funnel myself, because I'm currently being mentored on how to build these funnels. So I'm experimenting with different ways of doing funnels. And that is how you go about this. I'm working with people from all over the world as I do this, and then I can decide how and to market it. And I'm constantly testing things as well. For instance, for this ebook, I'm constantly having 2 landing pages, and I use the same ad to send some people to the one page and other people to another page. And if the one performs better, then I switch the poor performer off and I make yet another page and see if that will perform better. And so you get better and better, and your entry level cost becomes lower and lower. But that's the kind of world that it is. It's rather nebulous, and that is why it doesn't really help to do all of this by yourself.
Yes, and in a follow-up webinar, we will definitely focus on building a network of people around you, since it's really impossible to do any remote work on your own.
You know, the notion was, when remote work started early on in the 2000s, the notion was that it's these freaks, these mavericks, these risk takers that do this weird thing. But it's no longer like that. It has developed, and there's a whole infrastructure, international infrastructure, as well as technology infrastructure. And it's success is hardly ever created through individual endeavor only. The success now comes from picking your team well and focusing on building the right community and injecting you into the right communities. And that is how success is accelerated at the moment in remote work and in online business as well.
Yes, I love that term, accelerating success. Thank you very much, Mariana. We look forward to the next few webinars. We will definitely learn much from you, and we'll learn how to do this, but also look at other ways how other people do that and how we can move our business online.
Correct, because there are so many ways, and what I do is just one way. And the more you listen to the stories, it's really astounding how people go about to do their online business and to establish themselves in this world. But it's a very exciting world.